Do you want to know some of the best boosts now to use after the update and the boosting of boosts? Then stay tuned as we dive into some of the reasons why I'm using some of these boosts. So here we are after the boost update, and if you've been living under a rock, then where have you been? And don't say under a rock, because obviously boosts have increased now by 2.5 times. So every single boost has been increased by that amount, and it makes for so much different reading on the game. No longer is it just a case of, right, we're going to go into a race, we're going to use Copper, we're going to use Herald, we might use Prince. That's gone. And now a slight changing of the guard in different ways. And we will obviously go through that very, very detailed. So we've had this increase in boost. And I don't know if any of you do know. And if you didn't, then it's going to be great information to you. Drivers and cars have a maximum stat. So this is something you now have to factor in when choosing your boosts for the race. What I mean by that is drivers. Fernando Alonso has got 94 overtaking for me. If I give him a plus 10 overtaking, he will only go to 99 max. And that is the same for all of them stats. Let's look at the car. The car, as it is, 180 cornering, let's say. I can take another 40 cornering because the maximum car stat is 220. So if you are higher up the levels, any boost that takes you over 220, you are wasting a little bit of that boost juice, let's say. So that is one thing you've got to straight away factor in. But let's look at why it's more than a boost change. This would have been my driver lineup this weekend. Fernando Alonso, me choosing the race start over the qualifying stat. I would start further back, but I would be so powerful in the race start using like plus 8 copper that I would get a perfect race start every time. But if you've watched my qualifying video, that has now changed. Because of the power of the boosts, I can go down, pick Zhou Guanyu, qualifying plus 6. That's going to help huge. Minus 12 race start, oh no. But with the power of boost before, I could never get Zhou Guanyu to a perfect race start. Now, we can get a perfect race start every single time. Look at his overtaking, 83. Look at his race start, 80. So we only need 19 race start to get perfect. Like literally 99. Overtaking only needs 16 to get perfect overtaking. So we can now go into boosts, and this is where we get strategic. This is where you need to look at your driver levels, look at your car parts, and realise what do you need, and can you take another boost. And remember, in this video you will see I have plenty of boosts, and that is 3 years worth of playing, GP rewards, pit passes and purchases. But if you've got a couple of these boosts, it will make sense. So overtaking on Copper is plus 10. That will give me 93 overtaking. Plus 20 race start for the driver will give me that perfect 99 race start for our Zhou Guanyu. That instantly makes him better than Fernando Alonso. Because if I give Copper to Fernando Alonso, he would also be on 99 race start, but his qualifying stat would never change. That is one thing you have to factor in. So, some of the boosts you're going to see now are boosts that we're all familiar with. But there is some other boosts in here that have a lower impact but might affect your stats differently. So, Copper and Herald. I would say you want to be using these boosts for anybody with quite a poor race start. You saw Zhou Guanyu with 80. So obviously we need that big race start boost. If you've got a driver who has a 90-something race start, you don't probably want to be using Copper and Herald or Prince, because you could use some of the boosts that are out there because you don't need to push for that start. Let's look at some of the other boosts that I've favourited. Firework. Now, we used this last season. Very strong boost last season. Not so much this one. But if you've got a driver who is down on overtaking, like Lewis Hamilton, has a decent race start, you could potentially look at Firework. And if you've got more cornering in your car setup, that speed is going to bring your speed obviously up higher. For example, my free-to-play has only got 100 speed, 144 cornering. That would help me hugely. We've got tuning, and this will be the same for Merlion right below. Cornering, plus 15 and plus 25. We've got some speed in there as well to use at tracks like Jeddah, Miami, Spa maybe. But then the most important part, we've got some quicker pit times. Now, you should be noticing a lot quicker pit time out there. That is fundamental to use, and it is great because we know the bots and the AI don't service. So you need to start going and using some of these if you've got a longer pit time. And trust me, they make a difference now. I recently did, and I'll show the picture right here now. Here is a picture of me testing Silverstone in the wet. Okay, both drivers never pushed, never conserved. They only medium boosted. Zhou Guanyu carried Prince. Norris did not use a boost. So it was an even match apart from the boost. Well, guess what? Over 1 second lap time difference for the fastest lap. You put that round 8 laps, that's 8 seconds just off a boost alone. So this is why you need to be using those boosts and having them available to you, because they are making a difference. That is absolutely true. So Street Shark, race start 25. Now my free-to-play account has got Leclerc in the 60s, so that is going to push him up to 90s on the race start, which makes him so much more better off the start. Tyre management, for example, plus 25. If you've got a decent qualifying position, you can almost now have max tyre management. That will bring you up to 99 on most drivers if you were to take tyre management. You take the meta in cornering as well, and a bit of defending as well. And suddenly, you're realising that a lot of these boosts now have an impact in your racing. And it's not the same as it was before. I might have race start of 20 on Zhou Guanyu. He could be terrible on tyres. There we go, some tyre management. And then reliability. If you're a lower player, these reliabilities could save you an extra couple of seconds in the pits. Like, they are big changes. They're not just an extra 1 or 2%. They are now like 10%. It's mad. One of the favourites out there at the moment is Merlion, because it gives you speed, cornering and pit times. That is one of the big ones that is being used a lot right now. So definitely check that out. We've still got Hook, which gives great cornering. Everyone's setup tends to be cornering based. So if you add in more cornering, it's only a winner. That is it. Eclipse, 25 speed, more overtaking, more pit. And then one of the big ones, Kawhi, cornering plus 20. Race start plus 15. Pit stop plus 15. This boost, Kawhi, has got everything. Kawhi not use it is the key. That is a very now useful boost. It was only like 6s before. I think 6 race start, 6 pit time, 8 cornering. But now, that has got a bit of everything. Race start, pits and cornering. That is one of the most perfect boosts on this game to now use. And there is plenty more available to you. Obviously, testing for yourself. But the main purpose of this video is to come at you with that detail. It's to come at you with, look at your driver levels. Look at your car levels. Go and pick the boost that will give you the biggest impact. If you get slow starts, you can now get perfect starts by whacking something like a Herald on. If you can never do 3 laps on Austin on softs because your tyres just run out, you've now got massive tyre boosts that can help you do it. There are so many boosts out there, but if I had to give sort of my top boosts right now that I was going to use, then I would probably be left with Cuppa, definitely. I would say definitely Merlion is a very strong boost right now, and Kawaii as well, the most all-rounded boost going. They are your 3 big boosts that you should be using the most in this game. That's a bit of information. Remember, driver stats are max of 99, car a max of 220. Don't go and take more cornering, more overtaking, more race start than's needed. Go through your boosts, find out which one is the best for your driver. And as well, remember, I could be using one boost, you could be using another. That is now the special way that this is working. So just because YouTubers, creators use stuff, don't necessarily mean it will work for you as well. Go and check your stats. Go and check what boosts you've got available. And fingers crossed, with a bit of using your brain, you can now look and find out which is the best boost to score you more points. But these are definitely my go-to boosts right now, because I think they give us the very best effect in GPs and the duels.